By the way, too, if you have a heroin addict that you might know somebody that knew somebody that might know someone that may have been, I'm being nice as I can, get them a diode plaque. I don't know how many people in here that have heard me talk. I have been selling diodes for, God, how old am I? I don't have any fingers for that. Anyway, I've been selling diodes for at least 30 years, 28 years. They hear this too, because I had a friend just over there asking me now. I said, man, obviously it's not as popular as I think, because this is a brother that hadn't heard me, so creator, let me say the right thing. I sell what is called a diode plaque. It's 8 by 11. It's like metal on one side. It's got a cork on the other side. Up to 18 inches above that cork, anything you put on it, it spins to the left, which is usually bad under an electron microscope. It will make it spin to the right, which is usually good. Notice I say soon there will be generalities in that. But right now, under an electron microscope, anything that spins to the left is bad. Anything that spins to the right is bad, because the electron is going on there affecting that nuclei, and it knocks that electron off, switches it, makes it spin to the right, and therefore then it is good for you. The worst thing would be is to do nothing for you. But most of the cases, it will make something bad good. You put some heroin on there, and it will transmute it. Now, if you got an attic around, and you got that little white bag, no, I'm sorry, you got a brown bag and white bag in it, and you just happen to get it for a second without it killing it, and you put it on there, and you can leave it on there 20 minutes. After that, he got no heroin, but he thinks he do, and she thinks he would, but she can't because he couldn't because it's not there. Did you follow that? How do you break that? Psychologically, they think they're getting it. Physiologically, they're not. And if you start getting the gold in and chlorophyll in, pretty soon physiologically, they think it was psychological, and therefore they won't need a stem from anything but their own energy and their adrenals and adrenaline. That's what can be done now. I should never have any transportation in my pocket or plaque on the website for a second. Everybody needs to get that thing. All restaurants should have it, by the way. All kitchens should have it. Because if you buy something and it's tell you it's genetically modified, it's not going to make it non-genetically modified. It's going to make the cellular tissue void. It just won't be anything, just a more fiber. Now, if you got something like that for $70, and I'm going to say it again, no, it's something, what is it, 80 bucks or whatever it is now, why wouldn't you have it? Because I didn't know about it. Some people, I don't have any money. You got money for anything you want. But I don't have it right now. Well, when is it right now? Are you going to eat tonight? Like the vendors around here now, they have some good food. But how many places have bad food, and how many people do you see lining up going into the pantry house for pancakes, waffles, white egg, round egg, and some syrup? You take that same thing, put it on the diode plaque, and it'll all be nullified. It won't do anything for you, but it won't do anything against you. Why doesn't everybody have one? I mean, I'm not giving a pitch for diode plaques. I'm just saying I had it for 30 years. It works. Whatever poison you put on that plaque, it will neutralize the poisons. You don't know if it's poison or not? What? Put it on the plaque. Into that diatribe. But I had to share that with you again because you have a solution for most things. In fact, the diode family is a solution for many things. I'm going to stay on this one track one more time. It came up and bought me out. I'm so happy, creator, I needed that money. Okay? When it came up there and they bought me out there, they left 3 things. They're still there. One of those is a diode plaque. I'm sorry, a diode pad. Let me explain to everybody so I don't have to do it individually. What that diode pad can do is if you're in a car, you're in a bus, you're in a train, you're in anything again, it starts off as the ignition system. When you kick in the ignition, it kicks in the alternator. When it kicks in the alternator, you've got a current. It either will go to the firewall or to the fuse box. Now, if you're standing in the garage or something like that, that's one thing. But as soon as your wheels turn on any of those vehicles, it's going to throw that energy into the metal in the car. And everything in the car is welded to the chassis, including your seat. If your seat is mounted to the chassis, it means that your sex organ and your sciatic nerve is on there. People are getting restless leg syndrome. They're getting back pains and sciatica. That's because of one reason, sitting in the car and driving. Whether you're a passenger, getting in an over-the-road vehicle, getting in a 32 or 18-wheeler, it doesn't matter. When you're in that cabin, you're getting radiation into your spine, into your sex organ, and into your sciatic nerve. For women, it can cause uterine fibroids. For men, it can cause swollen prostates. And that's exactly how those easy things can start. And then, of course, if you got a cell phone in there, or you got it built into your car itself, which means you got copper coils wound into the hood, to the top of your car, and the ear things, now you got triple. Then if you got a GPS unit, you got another. All this radiation you're sitting in front of is messing up your whole body unless you're using diodes or something equivalent to the diodes. Sit on that pad, you protected yourself. Sit on that pad, you're not only doing that, but you're pulling poison out of the body. I'm not going to go further with those diodes, but some people don't seem to understand that because the solution has been around through me for about 30 years, and I don't know how many other people now have come with Tesla coils, everything else again. That's what that does. But none of it can match the diodes because there are 15 different kinds to do 15 different kind of things, including a diode for those towers outside all around you to help you outside of your house, including a circuit breaker diode if you have a collector. I'm through with that. But I had to go through that because how many times do I have to say what we have? Well, I've heard this and I've got a Tesla. Yes, but I've been selling a diode. But yeah, but Tesla, he did that one, and the other guy told me, well, go to the other guy. This guy's been telling you diodes for 26 years. I'm sorry, 30 years. Away from that, I had to get that off my system because it frustrates me so much. Let me go back now to my other point of saliency that I want to do. I want to go back to 26, and then I want to go out to these chemtrails and the thing that Israel's about to start now too. Let's get with this one here now. On the 21st of December, which they call the solstice, it is what is called the end of the Great Arcanum. The end of the Great Arcanum. So I knew that. Okay, maybe you knew it. I want to let you know I know it too. And so we want to progress from that point. The Arcanum is made up of 4 arcana. 4 arcana. The arcana was supposed to be 6,500 years each. And that meant a total of 26,000 years, which we were under a kind of a sleep hypnosis, a time when souls had to begin to understand a little bit more so they could progress to the point where souls didn't have to incarnate to express, they could go through their mind and understand already, and this is what creators do. They understand without becoming part of it because they're thinking into existence. Just like everything that happens to you, you either didn't think or are thinking into existence. You are the reality of what you believe. Nobody else is, you are. Even your incarnation came about because of that. So that meant this would be a time for a new beginning. Nothing to be feared, something to be looked for, because it took a long time to come around through that kind of thing. It said it's based on 538 cycles per second. 538 cycles per second, which leads down to what they call an earth frequency of 5,280 feet to a mile. And it simply means again that the new wave that we're on is called wave Q528. It is a quantum wave that our planet is now caught on, and as it speeds up to get sucked into the Milky Way, and at that time, if you are not able and not ready, you would simply leave the body or be separated from the new earth for the old earth. It is up to you as to what quantum and what quantum you're now able to exact upon yourself. It's a time to say what all of you are doing anyway. I can look at your faces, the people that lead me and teach me and talk to me. I look at their faces and I see always, I've been seeing that for so long, and I say, okay, this person's lying, or this person's the truth, this person's trying. But whichever, again, this one thing that comes about simply means this again. You've been told to speed up. You've been told to clean up. You've been told to expand consciousness. You've been told to seek love. You've been told to live right. You've been told to have no fear. You've been told that everyone you thought died and you can see again, it means that they'll be going to the heaven they're on. And if you're not, it meant that even though you love them, they have failed too. Many people fail. You're not birthed into righteousness and core and quality and liberality. You're born into it to see what choice you have. So this is why I say to you now. And I say that there's no degradation because in my heart there is no malice. I simply say this. Stop worrying about your DNA twins, your RNA twins, that wonderful sister, that beautiful brother, that family member who just woke there and I'm trying to wake them up, you're going to wind up sleeping with them. Don't wake them up. They have their own awakening. If they're holding you back, don't blame them because you both failed. They are here just like you. You are the next generation of it, giving birth to other generations. Start with yourself. If you had started with yourself when you gave birth to that child, you would not be going to the problems you're having now because you did not rear the child correctly. You said, I couldn't do anything with him. I couldn't do anything with her. Yes, you could have. I'll bet you, I'll probably lose some, but I'll bet you I'll win more than that, that they gave them shots in the hospital when you took them. And that was your first setback. Secondly, you gave them cow's milk. That was your second setback. Third, you gave them tablets, and you gave them formula. That was your fourth setback. And then you sent them out to a school to be taught, and that was the last setback, because they'll never teach anybody you're trying to enslave. Did you hear it? Got you quiet. And I stopped telling the truth and get angry. When you get all of that came because we're on a planet that has been controlled by Dracons, hear my figure, for 3.9 billion years. You say you're students of history. Are you really? Students of his story. If you're a student of his story, you'll never know my story. If you're a student of his story, you'll never know truth. Those that knew truth hid the truth from me starting in about 1893. And when the University of Chicago started, this is going to get me in trouble, here we go. Started back there again with John David Rockefeller and Sir Francis Petrie. And what was that first chancellor there? I forget his name now. And they took in all the books, and they started a whole new teaching thing. And they started getting different universities, and since they were going to teach a big lie, they were going to teach a new history. They had to make sure that everybody knew that new history. And so all the other books got brought in. And since John David Rockefeller owned the earth, had enough money to buy the earth at that time, on a mercenary event, they took away all the old teaching, gave it to the old professors, and then new scholars came up. And money was given out right and left. They had to go for a board of review. Where do you think all that foolishness came from? They had to make sure that they had the line, they had the history down, the truth now. And if you didn't pass it, you couldn't teach. That's why they would select Rockefeller graduates. And once you do that, then you can tell the lie so much that everybody now believes the truth, and they live in the truth when it's a lie. Huh? You didn't miss that, did you? That's where all this history, taking away all the old myths, making you think you came from Africa, renaming all the continents, and taking away all the old names so everybody forgot what it used to be now. Now they tell you, well, there was no Atlantis. Or Hurricane, what's her name? Oh, just uncovered it under Cuba, right? That was another thing that happened during that hurricane, amongst many other good things that happened. When you're understanding these things that are happening now, it's revelations. There was a thing that said something about the high will be made low, and the low will be made high, and here came Sandy for you and I. Sandy is an impossibility that became reality, thanks to weather modification. Sandy started off down there in the Dominican Republic, came up through the Caribbean. Caribbean. I've been both ways, so everybody be happy. Caribbean, Caribbean. And then it came on up there to Florida, and then it could have gone to the Gulf, it could have gone to the Atlantic, and then just by accident into the Atlantic. And then it could have gone up the coast, like it did before with Irene and so, or it could have stayed right there in the devastation. It went up the coast, and then it did something all hurricanes always do. It took an extreme left angle turn back to the land. What hurricane starts on the ocean, takes a left turn, and then goes 1,500 miles in? No hurricane does. That was a hurricane. I'm home based in Chicago. We're part of what is called the Great Lakes, okay? It's Huron, it's Ontario, it's Michigan, it's Erie, it's Superior. here. Do you know Erie had 32-foot waves from Hurricane, what's it name? Do you know Lake Michigan had 29-foot wave from Hurricane, what's it called? Sandy Beach. I made a lot of beaches sandy, that's for sure. It made Lake Michigan sandy. Folks, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. This is my conclusion. It is not Bible, and then I have problems with it. It's not any of the religious books, but it's my Bible for right now. If somebody can disprove what I asked the Creator for, did some research, here's my conclusion. It was sent by Russia. Russia has the best weather-modifying device on the planet that I know of, and since I don't know all the secrets that the United States has out there, and there's 5 different desert areas. Some say it's in S4. I don't know what's in S4, so I can only apologize about that again. Sandy was sent by Russia for a number of reasons. First of all, let's break down what weather-modifying equipment is and what it does. Everybody's heard of HAARP, right? Okay, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project started off in Wisconsin on the ground, wound up in Dakota, Alaska, up there, by having 36 arrays of billion-watt producing electrical towers blasted into the air. So now HAARP has become an acronym. Simply means now, HAARP means anything now that is capable of doing that. But HAARP did start out as a device from the United States. By the way, the United States, or whatever the United States are, because some states are now trying to secede. Another thing, but whatever this United States and this government, they sold it to the British 3.5 years ago. We have not owned, they have not owned HAARP for 3.5 years. They sold it. Now, I understand they have something better, and knowing this country probably do. Probably does, probably did, probably not. Anyway, whatever they do did was, they now have something better. So we've got a war going on this planet for weather modification. World War III started as soon as weather control started. We're about to start World War IV. And I hope not. The possibility is. This particular thing that you're talking about called HAARP is able to take, I like to use this example. If you've heard it before, bear with me. Because people say, well, how can you do that? They make it crystal clear that you've had for some time. Take you a room, bedroom, whatever it is, room in your house that has 4 doors or 4 walls and a door where you can box it. You put a fan in one part of the room and you turn it on. The fan has different speeds. On the other side, it's a wall or a window. So you used when you didn't want to use refrigeration, so in the summertime, you turn on that fan, raise the window, and it blew the hot air out, so on and so forth. They blew it from one wall to the other wall and out the window. And you had oscillating speeds on that fan. Now, you take a curtain, or you take a drape. It could be a curtain, sheer, it could be a drape solid. That's the modulator. And you hang it in the middle of the room. So now, when this wind comes by, it hits the curtain and blows a little bit, but it returns it. If it hits the drape, it's not only going to blow it, it's going to turn around and come back, and back, and back, and back, and back. And pretty soon you get turbulence. Well, let that fan be your jet stream. Let HAARP or ELATA or ISACAP be that weather transforming thing, and that's what you've got. That's the way they work. The jet stream is the wind that's been blowing around on the planet for centuries. And they alter the jet stream by using certain type of metals and then bouncing energies off of it, which causes turbulence. And that's the easiest way to break it down. Past that I can't without getting real technical. The whole point is they're using this daggone thing, and they've been using this daggone thing for some time now. So in the use of this particular thing, it's now an ability to create weather, and now they've gotten so good with it that they can create weather anywhere they want to. I have pictures over there which I will show you in the light later on at this time again, of Hurricane Hugo and Hurricane Irene. In Hugo, when it was a Category 5, they had a pentagram in the center. Somebody signed off on it. When it was a Category 4, they had a cross in the center. Somebody signed off on it. When it was a Category 3, they had a triangle in the center, a pyramid. Somebody signed off on it. I could not find 2. And one is when it was going to dissipate. They make weather, folks. They make weather. Now, whether we believe what I said, Here's what I'm going to say. Russia gave a sign to the government. I don't even know what word to call this country anymore. So I'll just say to the government heads who run the country that you say you think you selected when they elected. And whoever it was, they told that you said you're going to stand with Israel. In case anything happens, we're with Israel. In case anything doesn't happen, we're with Israel. Because it's the right thing to do. Is it? No. Is it? Now, that'd be good, because that's why you selected, elected, and this is what they're doing. They're representing you, the people, right? They're representing you, the people, right? I got the wrong audience today. Well, anyway, they say they're representing you, the people, so they're going to stand with you. Okay, here's the thing. Russia, Syria, China, Egypt have all said they're going to stand with Iran. It has been said that Syria has the mobile units, it has the manpower. And Russia alone has given, as far as I know, every hard piece of ordnance, even some very psychotronic weaponry, to Iran. To attack Iran is to lead to Armageddon. That country is well fortified now. You don't have to worry about if she's going to get an atomic weapon. That's excuses. She has, let's put it like this, she's ready. Iranians are very intelligent people. Now, I'm not going to go on this thing about Islamic people are wonderful and all like that, because if people forget one thing, the domination of Africa was by who? The longest time, who? Arabs. Longer than anybody else. They really were getting their uppers is what happened. They don't like to hear that. But that was payback. But payback on this planet has got to conclude. And this is the last payback time. Now, if what is happening there happens again, it means that Russia showed the United States that you better think about yourself, buddy. You got a big problem. If you can help Israel, you better be helping yourself, because we can match you. And they can. They can. In fact, they got the best weather-making equipment known right now, unless, as I say, the United States has something hidden about that I haven't been able to research there yet. So when it came up there, that was the flag that they put up there again. And to show you, they could control it, they even sent it inland. That was a statement, are you really ready for this? Are you really ready for Armageddon? Are you really ready for one state and one country to bring on a world collapse? And who already cast the first stone? Who killed the Hamas person? Israel. Who cast the first stone? Israel. There you go. And still, there's a brewing. And when they're talking about whatever the mad, or whatever, no, I better not say that, because on the tape they say I called him mad. Whoever the person was there, in Hamas and so, Hamasville and so, I'm sure it's no better than Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay? I'm sure that the same thing that he is saying, they are saying. Neither of them mean the earth any good if you're about to start a war that will destroy the earth, which is not going to happen, but it's going to take a lot of people's lives. It's going to be a setback to a time of ascension, just like they did in 1911. When the Sarah was supposed to be active at 10:05, they started the World War, or this burned down at 10:05. No, 8:05. They started there at 8:05, and the Sarah was supposed to go into act, which was going to free you from taxes and banking system and everything else. They didn't want that to happen, so they made up the rest of it. They're making up this tower that goes now too. It is a very dangerous time that we're in. A very dangerous time that we're in. That's why tomorrow I'm going to be holding, again, we couldn't do it here because I didn't know what this place looked like, and with the numbers usually came up, and I thank you, we couldn't have held a circle here. But tomorrow night, again, Creator willing, we'll be holding our meditation circle. It's like nothing you've seen before that you're set into it. And what I'm telling everybody now, you don't have to go to war. You've got to go inside your mind and your spirit and your soul force, like they used to. Act Dr. Selenase, act Tucson Org Show, act Christoph, when 50,000 of Napoleon's troops were taken away by Nazi because they believed in mind control. And they still never forgave you. That's why they're still on the Haitians, because they knew what mind control could do, you can do it again. You just think you can. I gotta wait until I... No, you don't have to wait. If you have a mind of your own, and you say, I got a mind of my own, well, collectively share your mind of your own with my mind, and let's see if we can do something about that. Let's not talk to talk, let's walk to talk. Okay? Walking talk is dangerous. Because you can go anywhere. And behind the talk is a thought. Because you can't speak till you think. Some people think before they talk and talk before they think. We want to do both and see what kind of power we have. See what we can do with our collective thoughts. You don't have to wait. I'm not trained at it yet. As soon as I finish my diet, I will. As soon as I finish my gig, I will. As soon as I pay my taxes and have Thanksgiving dinner and eat the turkey, I will. But after that, you got to wait. There's no time to wait. The time is speeding up, folks. Haven't you noticed? There's no time to wait. It's a time to act. And your acting skills are great because you've been acting ever since you were born in order to stay alive here. Now you got to be an actor for self. An actor in a big drama that's going to change this planet, and you want to be part of it. You don't even have to worry about getting casting. You can be part of the cast and make the movie yourself and hire who you want. You didn't hear that, did you? How many heard that? Uh-oh. Did you join a star? Did you get your right to act? You were born. That was your right to act. You were born. That's what you said you were going to do when you came in. You were born, but you got away from what you said you were going to do, so you're asking for more time, and it's time almost to check out. And you will check out if you didn't do what you said you were going to do when you were born. Huh? Are you hearing me? Yeah. Well, I thought you didn't hear what I thought. You heard that one? I thought you didn't hear what I thought. Right? That's what I want you to do tomorrow. Thought with me. Think with me. Believe that power of thought is where we're headed to in our theta universe, so we might as well learn now how to be good citizens of the theta universe, using thought control and mind control instead of everything physical. Do you know that... No, I ain't going to go there. You don't really know that later on anyway. I know that. You always do that to me. Come out tomorrow and try concentrated thought. And in fact, when you have hands held, the magic circle is already part of the magic circle, and you send energy to the right, clockwise, it cues. So every person in a circle is 3 times more powerful than they had when they been alone. Can you imagine what a circle of 1 million people could do on this planet? Change the whole orbit of the planet. Did you hear me? If you ran it around and could do it, you change the orbit of a planet. But you didn't have a cyclotron. You didn't have what do you call it, a nuclear generator. You didn't have any other things, but you had the power of thought. We say we worship our ancestors, and our ancestors wait for us to awaken. You are your ancestors. You are the ancestors that died in the physical, born again now. That's why you're disappointed in yourself if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because you're the God's return. There are no new souls being born over the last 20 years. These are old souls. You are back. And the parents of those old souls are the one that the old soul says, well, now that they're back, I can come back with them. Try it out tomorrow. You might like it. In fact, you might even try to get with us, even if you don't come out. I wish you would, because you might get a healing there. But you can even do it wherever you're standing tomorrow night. Back to this time of wonderful ascension and horrible misery. They have said that there were Chinese ships in the 5-mile region off the Pacific Ocean protecting the United States. Now, what's wrong with that? There were Chinese warships. No aircraft carrier that I know, but cruisers, destroyers, probably a submarine, because the submarine launched about 5 weeks ago, and everybody, about 3 months ago, everybody wanted to know what that was that came up off the coast. Let me go through this again. Within the 5-mile limit, there are or were Chinese vessels of war protecting the west coast of the United States. What's wrong with that? Protecting the west coast of the United States. Supposed to be a fleet in every ocean. There's supposed to be 7 oceans. all kind of two atomic submarines with every fleet, protecting the west coast of the United States from what?
Their interests.
Protecting their interests.
You got 7 ports along the west coast. 2 of them are owned by the Chinese, and if you're a United States citizen, you better not even walk upon the wharf. They have Chinese driving Russian-made helicopters in Nevada. You talk about open borders. Well, if you stop those daggone Mexicans and those South Americans from coming over the border, we'd have better things off. Why don't they have a border patrol? Well, they had a few, and because they sold them a lot of guns, they were killed. Well, why don't they have a fence up? Because the truth is, folks, that you can go through any geographical borders underground on this planet. There are no closed borders. There are closed minds to the fact that they have tunnels and rivers and everything else underground, but you can go all the way to Central Park and never touch the surface. Did you know that? The borders have been bridged a long time ago when the thresher went down. When it came in there and, here we go. Folks, you're going to have to rethink. You should rethink. It's the time to wake up to the future, and the future is now. It's the time to understand the new parameters. None of the old things go. When they don't make sense to you, it's because you don't have all the facts. You don't have all the pictures. There's no need for borders because underground you go past borders if the borders are on the surface. They're useless. They have tunnels right now for Medellin, and so they can walk from central Mexico all the way into Central Park, and I keep telling you that they can. In fact, if you understand what the cave world is, you understand that the James boys and stuff used to hide all their loot, and the Clantons too, right down in Monmouth Cave in Kentucky. Now they close it off to tourists because you can go in the water there and wind up in the Pacific Ocean if you want to and never stir the surface and never pay any dues on there on your high. Wake up, folks. Wake up. When you see an anomaly that doesn't make sense, don't accept it. Say, why? If not, ask me why, because that's what I do for you. I love doing that. I love doing the research on these pragmatic things that don't make sense, because that shows the weakness in the pragmatism. It means that there's something more that I don't know. So that's why I do the research for you. Now, others are doing the research for you. When I started, I weren't that many. But now, great, glad to have help. Sorry, I still have to do it, but it keeps me young, and I want to do it. So now I'm doing what I want to do for free when I can get paid for it, so my vocation and avocation are one, so I'm glad you're here tonight. Let's go back again to the main point. If the big preposition is right, that means now that the war that they want to start now is not for surface reasons. It's not, why do they want to start a war? You have to get back to the evils that are fit here. You have to get back to the point that the Dracons are about to get kicked off of you. And the Dracons say, since they dwell on the 4th dimension, that if things become 4th dimensional and you go on to the 5th dimension, you'll be their gods. And they fear that you may do to them what they've already been doing daily to you. And they don't want that ascension to happen. So they'd rather have the whole planet and everybody on it destroyed rather than let you make one foothold into the 5th dimension. They have to destroy this planet before another 2 years or they won't be able to. That's why they want to start the war. The conflicting nations are only puppets. And the puppeteer has offered them great things, either in their mind or for their body, to get it done. But the puppeteer has a play that you don't want to be a puppet on because the scenario is very dire. It simply means that what they want to start is a way to stop our earth from going into the 5th dimension and to stop you from getting your heaven on earth. Because the dream of this planet Earth, called Lady Gaia, also confronted by Lady Gaga, and that's the illuminating big curse for Earth. See, now Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is a metaphysical term, one of the old names for Earth. They always play games, these Illuminati, who serve the Dracons. who want to serve you for dinner. It's a way now of understanding that this is the culmination point. This is the turning point. Please don't wait till after Thanksgiving and the turkey feast, and after Santa Claus and St. Nick come and take away your money, and all the rest of the other things that you're going to do on Black Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Do you understand me? Do you hear what I'm trying to say? That's foolishness. The gift you give cannot be bought. It's the gift of love, which is that you give all your heart to your loved ones, and your loved one give all your heart to you, and we have a better world in the first place. St. Nicholas in his bow tie coming down the chimney is only smoke up you know what. The gift should be given on a daily basis. First to the Creator for creating you and giving you an opportunity to be the angel you said you would be. And the gift should be to the ones that gave you birth, if you can help them, and to show the birthright was that you become a better product while physical than you were when metaphysical. Or that two cannot be separated. The real reason that they want this war to start is to stop the earth from graduating, and it ain't going to happen. But it's going to take a lot of lives, a lot of foolish people who will fight the wars while the rich people laugh, a lot of foolish people who will fight people they don't even know for no reason. But this time, it's not going to be confined to one area. It'll happen here, it'll happen there, it's going to happen everywhere. If that physical war starts, there will have to be intervention from what they call the galactic consciousness. It's going to have to be intervention because the Earth is not going to be destroyed. So if you want to see a spaceship soon, start that war. If you want to see real hell, as they begin to selectively annihilate all of those who started this war, join in with them. The Earth is not going to be destroyed. But people and their minds will, and when the mind goes, the body will follow. It will be destroyed in the body. Doesn't have to happen. But sit by and do nothing and say, well, nothing I can do. You could use your mind and put your mind to it. When a pain is wonderful, they said, it's wonderful. Then they say, oh, God, your heart wasn't in there. And you didn't put your mind to that. Well, your mind and your heart are one. It's the heart vessel that allows the gland to pump in the beauty from the universal love that creates everything that is soul-like. And when your heart is open and the heart chakra works, you can be compassionate. And you won't go out and fight for nothing just because somebody told you to and gave you money. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose ability to go to 77 trillion other universes? Because this one is where you'll be ground to forever if this is what you do. And this will be hell. The lower earth is the hell we heard about. It's the hellish, it's the Helen to cover it. And that's what you'll be when the planet graduation takes your mind out of it and you don't have a soul and you've lost it. And you'll be amongst the Dracons forever, or whatever is the time the Dracons have. This is your time for standing up in your seats, in your offices, in your homes, in your cars if you park them, and any other place